J-horror jokes.
I hesitated to write about a subordinate from work, but the inexplicable nature of this incident prompts me to share it here. I work at a factory, and recently, a major accident occurred there involving one of my subordinates. I won't go into the details, but he suffered the loss of his right arm from the shoulder down, and despite his right leg still being connected, it was deemed irreparable and had to be amputated due to the severity of the accident. He was unconscious, and when he was rushed to the hospital in an ambulance, his condition was critical. Although his life was saved due to the medical intervention, he remained unconscious. Since I am in a supervisory role, I accompanied him that day and spent the night at the hospital. As visitation was restricted, I waited outside his room, preoccupied with communicating with higher-ups. However, overwhelmed by fatigue, I ended up dozing off on a bench outside his room. I woke up in the middle of the night to the sound of voices. I remember the clock showing 3 a.m. I felt that the voices were coming from his room, where my subordinate lay in a comatose state. I cautiously peered through the door's window, and to my astonishment, I saw him sitting up on the bed. I was about to enter the room to greet him, but something felt off. He was still sitting on the bed, speaking intently into an empty space. I thought he might be using a cell phone, but he didn't have one with him, nor should he have. The words were hard to make out, so I gently opened the door to listen. That's when the unsettling situation became clear.
Yes. Yes, that's right. Just tear through here, is that it? Yes. Yes, it's grown quite a bit. The upper arm is still. The leg, will it grow back in 2 months? Thank you.
He spoke continuously, still as a statue, his gaze fixed on an area above him. Normally, one would be relieved when a person regains consciousness. However, the abnormality of the situation left me paralyzed with uncertainty. Then, in the next moment, he said something that chilled me to the bone.
Yes. Yes, please wait a moment. Someone is watching right now, he said.
My spine tingled. Could he possibly be referring to me? He had never addressed me as someone before. Moreover, he said this without moving at all. Frightened, I hesitantly called his name. Suddenly, he stopped speaking, and silence filled the room. Then, out of nowhere, he exclaimed, "Hey," without even turning to face me. I fled from the scene. Terrified and on the verge of losing my sanity, I rushed to the nurse on duty for the night shift and recounted everything that had happened. However, understandably, they couldn't provide any solution. Their suggestion was simple: if he regained consciousness, go to his room. Upon returning to the hospital room, I found him lying in bed, apparently asleep. The nurse conducted a thorough checkup and then informed me he still hasn't regained consciousness. I protested, saying that he was awake and talking just a while ago, but my words were met with disbelief. Currently, he has regained consciousness and been discharged. Strangely, he doesn't recall anything about the conversation that took place that night.